In my previous video in this series, I told you about Nigeria's Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act, which we can also call the SSMPA. I told you how this law specifically targets the Nigerian LGBT community. In this video, I want to take a look at how this law impacts the Nigerian LGBT community. What's the effect of this discriminatory law? Let's learn more. Nigeria's SSMPA has made a bad situation much worse for Nigeria's LGBT community, according to the Human Rights Watch report published on October 20, 2016. The SSMPA has led to an increase in extortion and violence against LGBT people and imposed restrictions on non-governmental organizations who provide essential services to LGBT people in Nigeria. The 81-page report, "Tell Me Where I Can Be Safe: The Impact of Nigeria's Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act," shows how some police officers and members of the public use the law, which took effect in January 2014, to legitimize abuses against LGBT people, including widespread extortion, mob violence, arbitrary arrest, torture in detention, and physical and sexual violence. The law has created opportunities for people to engage in homophobic violence without fear of legal consequences. This significantly contributes to a climate of impunity for crimes against LGBT people. Furthermore, human rights groups and United Nations officials expressed great concern about the scope of the law, its vague provisions, and the severity of punishments. In a press release on February 5, 2014, following the passage of the SSMPA, the Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders in Africa noted, "The increase in cases of physical violence, aggression, arbitrary detention, and harassment of human rights defenders working on sexual minority issues." Besides, the Human Rights Watch report concludes that its impact appears to be far-reaching and severe. The heated public debate and heightened media interest in the law have made homosexuality more visible and LGBT people even more vulnerable than they already were. Many LGBT individuals who Human Rights Watch interviewed said that prior to the enactment of the SSMPA in January 2014, the general public objected to homosexuality primarily on the basis of religious beliefs and perceptions of what constitutes African culture and tradition. Human Rights Watch research indicates that since January 2014, there have been rising incidents of mob violence, with groups of people gathering together and acting with a common intent of committing acts of violence against people based on their real or perceived sexual orientation or gender identity. For instance, in February 2014, in Gishiri village, Abuja, a group of approximately 50 people armed with machetes, clubs, whips, and metal wires dragged people from their homes and severely beat at least 14 men whom they suspected of being gay. 3 victims told Human Rights Watch that their attackers chanted, "We are doing Jonathan's work, cleansing the community of gays." Another victim said that the attackers also shouted, "Jungle justice, no more gays." Arbitrary arrest and extortion by police is also commonplace under the SSMPA. Interviewees in Ibadan and other places told Human Rights Watch that the police had detained them multiple times since the passage of the SSMPA. Additionally, lesbians and gay men who Human Rights Watch interviewed said that the law has had an insidious effect on individual self-expression. Since January 2014, several said that they had adopted self-censoring behavior by significantly and consciously altering their gender presentation to avoid detection or suspicion by members of the public and to avoid arrest and extortion. Lesbian and bisexual women in particular reported that fear of being perceived as guilty by association led them to avoid associating with other LGBT community members, increasing their isolation and, in some cases, eventually compelling them to marry an opposite-sex partner, have children, and conform to socially prescribed gender norms. And the SSMPA contributes significantly to a climate of impunity for crimes committed against LGBT people, including physical and sexual violence. LGBT victims of crime said the law inhibited them from reporting to authorities due to fear of exposure and arrest. Interviewees, including representatives of mainstream human rights organizations, said the SSMPA has created opportunities for people to act out their homophobia with brutality and without fear of legal consequences. Under the auspices of the SSMPA, police have raided the offices of NGOs that provide legal and HIV services to LGBT communities. Finally, punitive legal environments, stigma, and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, together with high levels of physical, psychological, or sexual violence against gay men and other men who have sex with men, impedes sustainable national responses to HIV. When officials or national authorities, including law enforcement officials, commit or condone acts of violence, this leads to a climate of fear that fuels human rights violations and deters gay men from seeking and adhering to HIV prevention, treatment, care, and support services. This information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. Next Friday, I'll be back with a new video in my series on cognitive abilities. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and bye for now.